Hi class, and welcome to another episode of Grade Killers. I just got through grading your Milestone 2 work, and I wanted to talk about some things that I covered last week in what I called like my Milestone 1 recap. So several students, a lot of students this week lost some substantial points for a few key things, and I want to talk about those so that you don't do this again in the upcoming weeks. I want everybody to have an A. Like, I am ecstatic if every single one of you have an A, but I also want to make sure that you're turning in quality assignments and that you're not missing things. Even after you leave me in this writing course, you'll go on, you'll have jobs, you'll be given tasks where you have to read, and I want to make sure that everybody knows how to thoroughly read instructions and to deliver what is being asked. So first thing you want to make sure you're doing is reading the instructions for every assignment and reading the rubrics. The rubrics break down into point groupings, exactly what I'm going to score you on. So, for example, if, like this week in M2, T2, and T3, those are basically the same thing. You just revise them. If it said, you had, I can't remember the point breakdowns, even though I just did this, but if it said that you had 20 points devoted to your narrative arc. If you didn't give me a narrative arc, like if you didn't break it down and say, here's my exposition, here's my rising action, here's my climax, my falling action, my resolution, I think I got everything, then I took points off. I expect you to use those key concepts and terms, and I expect you to make it simple for me to identify what it is you're talking about. If you gave me, a 5-page summary of your story, I might have given you some credit for that, but it still didn't break out those specific kind of inciting events that equal your exposition, that equal your rising action, so on and so forth. I was looking specifically for that. Same thing, you had to include your point of view, you had to include your dramatic question, character obstacles, and things like that. If you were missing something, you lost those points, and so you don't want to miss anything. The second thing I want to tell you is something that I do to help you score more points is, you'll probably notice this in every milestone, task 2 and task 3, that final submission, are pretty much always the same thing. You are just taking task 2, revising it using my feedback and your peers' feedback, and basically making it perfect for the final submission. So what I do when I comment to you guys, I pretty much tell you if you're missing something what it is, so that you're starting to add that. So I expect you to comment back and say, oh, you know what, I didn't include my dramatic question, but here it is, and then make sure that that piece that was missing winds up in your final submission, and then you don't lose any points. You get them back in the final submission, which is worth substantially more points than the second task. So read my comments, also respond to them. That's another area where a lot of students lost points. Sorry, I was making sure that I'm still recording, and I have a cat coming to visit me. Students lose points in discussion because here's what I expect. For every discussion thread, so that's usually tasks 1 and 2 of each milestone, you need to post your assignment. So whatever you're supposed to do that week, post it. Pick 2 other students in the class, read what they posted, and say something. Please say something more than nice job or, oh, hey, you might want to run spell check. I noticed some misspelled words. Try to say something a little substantial. I don't need you to write them a novel, but I need you to pose a thoughtful question, give a thoughtful critique, whatever it might be. Just really try to contribute to the discussion. And if anybody says anything to you, i.e. me, I usually will say something to you unless you post late. Then you're not guaranteed a response from me. Again, incentive not to post late. When I post to you, or if other people post something to you about your assignment, answer them. It doesn't even have to be that long. Like if I ask you a question and I say, what was your dramatic question? In a sentence or two, follow up whenever you see it before the week is over and say, oh, you know what, I did forget that, here it is. Ask any questions you have, but just carry on the dialogue. What else? Discussion is an area that we're missing. Posting late. Posting late is another area where people are missing. In the first week, I'm very generous because I know we're all getting used to the class, so I didn't take any late points for anybody. Even those of you that posted late, that reached out to me between milestone 1 and 2, I graded all your work. That should be back to you. If I missed something, please send me an email so I know to go back and see it, but I think I caught everything. But if you post late, you lose 10%. That's a lot of points. Please don't lose those points. Just like I don't want you to lose points for not participating in discussion. So for example, if you post late and then you're like, oh crap, I'm late, I guess I can't participate in discussion. Well, not only are you losing 10% of your overall grade, you're then losing another roughly 10 to 20% in just discussion points by not posting. I understand that no one's likely going to comment back to you, but I can't give you points for something that you don't do. So please, even if you're late, still participate in discussion, still read other people's work, give them critiques, give them feedback. Who knows, they still might read it, they still might respond to you anyways. Just do the best you can. These are the expectations I have for you. The last thing I noticed that people were doing that was causing point loss is on the final submissions of every week, so this is always your third task, when you take that second task and revise it for that Dropbox assignment, in addition to revising that, you also have to complete what we call a milestone report. He's back. And a milestone report basically is just you reflecting back over what you did in the week, mainly with writing your own story, not with the Gutenberg assignment. So you're looking back over that and writing me 150 words. So basically a relatively small paragraph where you talk about obstacles and challenges and just reflect on your experience. I'm just asking you to think critically about what you did that week. And actually, since I said that, I thought of one more thing that costs people some points. With your Gutenberg assignments, you do need to cite the stories that you're using for your analysis. So please include an MLA citation. Make sure you're reading what the instructions say. A majority of students posted summaries instead of breaking down the narrative arc and discussing, for that one I think it was, character motivation and story goal. For that particular assignment, I wanted you to say, okay, I read, one of you read the Jungle Book, which I thought was cool. So saying, okay, I read the Jungle Book, this particular story, here's the exposition, here's the rising action, here's the climax, and so forth, and just list out the events, and then discussing character motivation and how character motivation contributes to story goal, and basically showing me that you understood the difference in those two terms. So that's where some people miss some things. Really, it's just about reading. Make sure you read assignment instructions carefully. Make sure you're reading all of your lecture notes. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I want to make sure that before an assignment is due, before you're totally lost and confused, that you reach out to me so I can give you whatever help is needed. That's all I have for now. Thank you very much, and you all have a great weekend. Take care.